Horatio Spafford was a kind and hardworking man. He lived in Chicago, a big city in America, with his wife, Anna, and their children. Horatio was a lawyer and also owned land in the city. He had 4 beautiful daughters and a little son. Their home was filled with laughter, love, and joy. Horatio and Anna loved helping others. They were Christians who believed in God and always prayed with their children. They also helped people in their community who needed food or shelter. Life was good for them. But one day, something terrible happened. One night in October 1871, while everyone was asleep, a terrible fire started in Chicago. The flames spread quickly, burning houses, shops, and streets. People ran, trying to escape. The fire was so big that it destroyed almost the whole city. Horatio Spafford and his family watched in horror as the fire burned everything they owned. His land, his business, and even his home were gone. Many people lost their homes, and some even lost their lives. Even though Horatio and his family were safe, they were heartbroken. They had worked so hard for many years, and now they had to start over. But Horatio did not lose faith. He told his wife and children, "God is with us, even in hard times." Even after the fire, Horatio kept helping others. He gave food and shelter to people who had lost their homes. He believed that no matter what happened, they had to trust in God. But their troubles were not over yet. A greater tragedy was coming, one that would change their lives forever. After the Great Chicago Fire, life was difficult for Horatio Spafford and his family. They tried to rebuild their lives, but things were not the same. Horatio was tired and worried, and he saw that his wife, Anna, and their 4 daughters also needed rest. So, in November 1873, Horatio planned a trip for his family. He decided they would sail to England for a vacation. They would spend time with their friend, Dwight L. Moody, a famous preacher. But just before they were supposed to leave, something happened. Horatio had important business to take care of in Chicago. He couldn't leave right away. He told his wife, "Anna, you and the girls go ahead. I'll finish my work and join you soon." Anna and their 4 daughters, Annie, Maggie, Bessie, and Tanetta, boarded a big ship called the SS Ville du Havre. They waved goodbye to Horatio, excited for the journey. Horatio watched as the ship sailed away, not knowing that this would be the last time he would see his daughters alive. A few days later, in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, disaster struck. Another ship crashed into the Ville du Havre. The ship was badly damaged and started sinking very fast. People screamed and held on to each other, trying to survive. Anna held her daughters close, praying for a miracle. But the waves were too strong, and one by one, her little girls were pulled away from her. All 4 of Horatio's daughters drowned in the cold ocean. Anna was found floating on a piece of wood. A sailor rescued her and took her to England. When she arrived, she sent a short telegram to Horatio. It had only 2 heartbreaking words: "Saved alone." When Horatio Spafford received the telegram from Anna, he could hardly believe it. His heart broke into pieces. His 4 beautiful daughters were gone. The pain was too much to bear. Without wasting any time, Horatio boarded the next ship to England to be with his wife. The journey was long and filled with sorrow. He couldn't stop thinking about his daughters, Annie, Maggie, Bessie, and Tanetta. He wondered if he would ever feel joy again. One night, as the ship sailed across the Atlantic Ocean, the captain called Horatio to the deck. He pointed to the dark waters and said, "This is the place where your daughters drowned." Horatio stood in silence, looking at the endless sea. Tears filled his eyes, but instead of anger, he felt something unexpected: peace. In that moment, he remembered the love of God. Even in his pain, he felt God's presence. He whispered to himself, "It is well. It is well with my soul." These words stayed in his heart, and soon he wrote them down. He began writing a hymn, a song that would bring comfort to many. When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. Horatio is still grieving, but through his pain, he found faith and hope. He knew that one day he would see his daughters again in heaven. By the time he reached England, he had finished the song. When he saw Anna, they cried together, but they also prayed together. They knew their daughters were with God. This hymn, "It is well with my soul," became a song of hope for people all over the world. Even today, when people face pain, loss, or sadness, they sing this song to remind themselves that God is always there, even in the darkest times. After Horatio Spafford arrived in England and reunited with Anna, they both held each other tightly. Their hearts were heavy with grief, but they found comfort in God's love. Though they had lost their 4 daughters, they believed that God still had a plan for their lives. They prayed together, asking for strength to move forward. Horatio and Anna did not return to Chicago right away. Instead, they stayed in England for a while, seeking peace and healing. During this time, Horatio's hymn, "It is well with my soul," began to spread. People who had experienced their losses found comfort in the words of his song. One of Horatio's close friends, Philip Bliss, a famous musician, heard the hymn and decided to compose music for it. When the song was finally sung in churches, it touched the hearts of thousands. People sang it during difficult times, reminding themselves that even in sorrow, God is still good. Though the pain of losing their daughters never went away, Horatio and Anna wanted to help others who were suffering. They decided to leave America and travel to Jerusalem in the Holy Land. There, they started a Christian community called the American Colony. The American Colony was a place where poor and hurting people could find help. They gave food to the hungry, took care of orphans, and helped people in need, no matter their religion or background. Horatio and Anna spent the rest of their lives serving others, showing them the same love and kindness that God had given them during their darkest times. Years later, Horatio passed away in Jerusalem, but his song of faith never faded. Even today, people still sing "It is well with my soul" when they go through hardships. It reminds them that even in the worst moments, God is still with them. Horatio's story teaches us that even when we face great loss, we can still find hope and peace. His faith never wavered, and because of that, His song continues to inspire millions around the world. Subscribe to this channel to unlock more inspiring videos.